Yeah, I ain't even know it was there.
Right. Hello, guys, and welcome to the first of many brilliant talks. I'm sitting here with two absolutely brilliant entrepreneurs who they will introduce themselves. First of all, we
Yes.
have.
Hello, everyone. My name is Caleb Jakes. I am a motivational speaker and author, and I speak on unlocking your God-given joy and how you can turn your pain into your purpose and your trials into your triumphs.
And on the other side, we have.
Hi, I am Shala Chef. I am a vegan chef and beverage creator out of one of these 4 ginger lemonades that I have, and I am changing the world one meal at a time, one sip at a time.
And I am Piers Semester, CEO of Genesis, helping people start their own private limited companies in the UK, any business model, and I am there for you. But I'm going to be a bit of a mediator today because I've met two fantastic people at the Black Business Expo in Custom House Excel, and it has been absolutely fantastic. First thing, before we begin, just so the viewers actually understand how fantastic this is, I want these two, because at least this is for my viewers, the ages of you two, please. I'm 21, guys. I'm 21. I'm not 40. I'm not got grey hairs. I'm 21. Gentleman over here,
I am 20 years old.
and the lady over here.
I'm also 20 years old.
That one. This is awesome. This is sick. This is sick.
It's a whole bunch of 20-year-olds.
It's amazing. No, it's amazing. It's young talent coming together and creating something beautiful in my eyes. And
Yes.
I know you guys see the same because we
Yeah.
clicked like that when I met these two. Absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
So I'm here to bring you guys, and they're here to bring you guys that came from their sides about their story and how they got here and what they've done to get here and just the mindset that you need if you want to experience self-betterment, if you want to experience just a better understanding. I'm going to go to the joiner himself.
Yeah.
Tell us what made you think of, first of all, becoming an author.
Oh, wow. I will say not even 2 years ago, I would have expected to be an author. I never thought that I'd be writing my book, especially being this young and being a published author too. I'm not with any company, though I am with a publishing company. I'm not like with my school or anything like that. This is independent. It's really something where 2 years ago, I was in a situation where I was 300 pounds. I was on high blood pressure medicine. I was pre-diabetic. And I faced a life-changing question from a friend of mine at my university. And we came there. I was telling him about, hey, like everything is good in school. I got a scholarship. I'm just glad to be here at my university. I said the only issue is in my life is my weight. You know, my weight has been something that's been hindering me even since I was a child. And he said to me, Caleb, why haven't you given God your weight issue? And that day literally changed my life. I went into prayer, I talked to God, and I got my heart right from a different standpoint like I never had before. And I was able to find a sense of peace that I never had. And with that peace, I was able to start a new weight loss journey and really permanently lose this 100 pounds. And in that process, God gave me an idea to document this journey, to write it out. Even if I wasn't that weight yet, I was still writing the book, telling the story, because in the process, I was unlocking joy in an area of my life that I never thought was possible. And that was my self-image, right? I grew up where I was always bullied, right? I was always called out as the biggest kid in my high school. I was always standing out, and most likely for good reasons, but still my weight was always a factor in that. And then making that transition to college, having that question asked to me, it told me something a little bit deeper than even what my friend was asking on the surface about just my physical weight. But it had me ask myself, what weight was I really not surrendering to God? And when I think about weight now, I'm thinking about the emotional weight, the traumatic weight that all led to the habitual eating that got me to that size at such a young age. And I realized that a lot of that is from childhood wounds that were never healed, and then food becoming that actual healing source instead of our Almighty God. And so in that actual year of writing, it was a deep transformation in my heart, but also growing in God and intimacy. And in that, I had the discipline to write out this journey and give people applicable steps to be able to unlock their God-given joy.
I know
Wow.
that's right.
That is. I don't know how
That's
powerful that
my-
mic is, but a little, definitely.
Lenore, I love
That's
it.
the version of the story that, wow, honestly, no.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
that's it.
Caleb, absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic. And I've bought the book, and this is actually my copy that he's holding in his hand, which he has signed at the back. And while, yes, you know, I don't have a bit of a belly yet, this is a good mentality when it comes to anything. Honestly, it's just, like, it's just, if you have any sort of thing that's been hindering you, replace that word of weight and replace that word of food to what the problem is and what you've been using to cope with it. That's what I was thinking.
Yep.
When I bought your book, that's where I was like, that, you know, that is exactly how I should be treating it. And you never know, maybe I go over a traumatic experience and I start to put on weight and I start to move to food too, because we do, not even just food, you know, we do it with alcohol, we do it with cigarettes, we do it with drugs, we do it with anything. Exactly, which aren't healthy, but it's so easy. And then the dopamine that you get is like, you need to do it again if something bad happens again. Do you see what I mean? But just for the viewers, because there's going to be a lot of people that haven't seen you before, how much is the book in both US dollars and in
Yes.
pounds?
So let me start with pounds. I've been getting that together since I've been here.
Coming to this country, guys. It's coming here.
Yeah, so in the UK it is £15 and 30 pence, and then for the US it is $20. So yeah,
Guys, it's a book that will change you, and it's changed this man. It's how this man has gone through a transformation, and how he's done it with the combination of goodwill and of faith. And it's absolutely fantastic. So well done. Honestly.
Thank you.
No, that was
Thank
great. Our hearts are like, wow. Like, yeah.
I
Our
know.
hearts are like, that was
like,
so,
I hear
yeah,
this
that
over
was
and over
crazy.
again. I'm still like,
Jesus, like, you know what I mean? This is maybe the second time, and not even in great detail, because I've followed him on Instagram, on LinkedIn. I have all of your contacts actually. You have a fantastic system. We'll get into the system in a bit. What they
give him
both
a little
have.
tip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Listen, if you start, we'll do it after. But it's absolutely like, you guys got a system. But if I go to my left, please tell the viewers what you do and why. Why did you choose to become a veganary chef?
woo! Okay. I'm so glad that you asked the question why, because as entrepreneurs and as we are going through business, we often forget our whys. So it's so great to come back to it. I am a vegan chef and beverage creator, but besides this drink, culinary is where I started. It started off at a rocky start at home, very much so. I was not the greatest kid. I was very terrible to my mom, and nobody could figure it out. And the reason why I was so bad of a child was because I didn't feel loved. And it was so interesting because my mother is a psychological therapist. They tried everything to make me feel loved, and I just wasn't getting it. But when my coping mechanisms was actually healthy and I turned it around. So my coping mechanism was me going into the kitchen and creating. So when I found my love and passion for healthy eating, thinking, and cooking, that's all I was obsessed with. And I felt loved. And I haven't stopped cooking since. So when I saw that I actually got support from being able to cook, I was like, oh, this is turning around. And from there on, I have never been the same child. So from there on, of course, I started cooking when I was 6. I'm 20 years old now. But during that time, while I was cooking, I said, something doesn't feel right. I was like, I want more. That's all I said. I said, Ma, I want more. She said, let's do more. And I started my business and my 8-episode video series at 8 years old. And from there on, I would do speaking engagements, and I would go to different events and schools and galas, and I would just do workshops. And from there on, I said, I want a little more. I just want to know what it feels like. Because, you know, at 8 years old, I didn't know what entrepreneur meant. I didn't know what having an EIN number is and all of that. I didn't know, but what I knew at the age of 8 was I want to turn something I'm passionate about to a purpose. I don't know how to do it, but let's do it. And my parents were very much on board. And from 8 years old to 11 is when I released my first cookbook. And after that, I said, I want more. And I didn't know what more meant, but I knew it was supposed to be in the culinary industry. What I wanted and what I got was very different. When I say that, I mean at the age of 14, a different gift fell into my hands, and it was the beverage industry. I was pretty nervous, and I'll say that because I knew it involved a lot of numbers, and I'm very careful when I say trauma about numbers, but I do have this negative core belief about my confidence in numbers in my business and how I can calculate them and not get tricked during business deals. So I just really tried to step away from that beverage business. God dropped it in my hands, and this is how it happened. Are we going into that or later?
No, a little bit. Go on, just diverge a little bit into it.
Because that's the story of how this all came about either.
No, if it's how it came, it's in. It's in.
All right. Well, there were some people that flew me out to Omaha to be their chef for this event. My mother and I came out there, made the food, realized they didn't have anything to drink. This is when I made something that I really just made around the house with my mom. And it was this strawberry ginger lemonade. This is what got it started. Made a whole gallon of it. And was giving out samples along with the food. The people tasted it. I didn't think anything of it. I was like, this is just something I make in the house. People left, and they came back with these big empty jugs, just filling it up with the same drink. I was like, okay. Then after they drank their jugs and were taking it to their kids and everyone, there was a store next to the event. The store owners came to me and said, when are you selling these? Along with the other customers, when are you selling these? I'm like, I would never sell a beverage. That's not me. I cook. The pots and pans and knives, those are my babies.
Wow.
Flew back, and January of 2019 is when I started selling the beverages. January of 2019, I did pop-ups left from right. And I did different events on TV and different spotlights. So I was on Sister Circle, ABC, NBC, and different spotlights like those. And my first year in the beverage business, thank you, Lord, I made my first 6 figures. And ever since then, it's just been a lovely story.
An ongoing story.
An ongoing story.
Because it's not finished.
Yeah, it's never finished. It's never finished. But I'm very grateful for the state that I am in. Yep. That's me, though. All right, on to you. Your story, how you all started and why.
Okay, so, all right then. We'll go from the beginning. So I've been an academic my whole life. Absolutely in the books. Economics was my thing. Love economics. Love how the market works. Loved demand and supply graphs. Loved price conversions. Loved history as well.
Yeah.
We've had a few conversations where we've had a lot of deep history about many different countries, and I'm all for that. I'm that geek. But what happened is that every time it would come to doing a test or come to the end of a point in education, whether for you guys elementary, high school, college, for us primary school, secondary school, college, and then university, I didn't know that. Yeah, it was absolutely, my grades would not reflect what I know. I'll just tell you that. You would not, if you read the grades that I had and how we grade things, because it's a bit different over there, the viewers would not think I was an intellectual in any capacity. Yeah. And it really did hurt. It really did hurt me. And I was at a point in life where, especially in university, I was in some real I was in a very bad place, an absolutely bad place. And I said to myself, if I ever get out of this place and I went to work again, because it was getting to a point where I was running out of money, I said, next time I go to work, if they give me £100, £20 I would put in my savings, and 80 of it I would invest in something. And even if that something didn't grow into anything, at least I tried to do something differently than go to work, then save, go to work, then save, then eventually spend it all on whatever comes after.
Yeah.
And that's where I got the idea for this business, because I may not have the grades, but I have created 2 private limited companies. This isn't my first. I've created another one prior called SPNA Holdings.
Wow.
Yeah, which stands for Semester, Pierce, Alex, and then it was going to be Property Holdings.
Wow.
Yeah.
Property holdings. Go ahead.
So I did, but I didn't have the capital to ever get the property. So the company's still there, still exists. And I was like, okay, let me scale down. I know how to create these limited companies. Loads of people around me, especially in East London, don't know how to create these create these companies, my bad. Create these companies. And when you do go about it, people are charging you horrendous figures. And you work hard. We work hard, at least here. And I know you guys work hard as well. But in London, it's very, very common to see a 9 to 12 hour shift. 5, not even 5, I wouldn't even say 5 anymore. 6 days a week. 6 days a week. You go sleep, because you're so tired, you use that day to sleep primarily. You wake up and you're back in it again for the whole other 6 days.
Correct.
So I have this £40, while it isn't profit maximizing, the £40 that I charge for every course that I do is because I know it's a price that's actually affordable, and it's not a subscription. It's I teach you, and when you write that down, you feel free to tell your family, to tell your friends, to tell anybody that wants to know. Or maybe that doesn't even want to know, but tell them anyway. Have it. Let's move out of this rat race era, and let's at least have control of our own destiny. You see? And this company that I'm making is just it's just the spirit that I had, that okay, the education system didn't want me when I gave it its best, and it failed me when it came to what I was going to do after. But I'm going to use those skills that I got, grades or whatever. I'm going to use the skills that I got, and I'm going to make my family proud who have been in my corner, my friends proud that have been in my corner and said, hey, Pierce, you're mate, you can do this, that. When I was thinking, nah, them proud, and just the community proud of what a young black man, I'm going to say it, what a young black man can achieve in this environment where we have so much stigma amongst us, especially the men, massive stigma against us. We're capable of fantastic things. If you go on my website, on my Instagram or my LinkedIn, the people that have so
I know, that's right.
on Instagram, I've actually got 2. I've got Genesis-S Limited on Instagram, and on I got another one called P.AJ Semester, which is just Pierce Alex Justin Semester on Instagram, and on LinkedIn it's P.A.J Semester. My beautiful face will be, well, it's not beautiful. I'm upstaging myself here, but my face will come up. You'll know it's me. You can't miss it. Be that. You can't miss it. So yeah, you can find me there. But the people that helped me build this logo, that helped me build this merchandise, that helped me even take the photos, they're mostly students that finished.
It's dope too.
And yeah, but they finished and they don't have a job in that field. It's a hobby. They have so much talent, and I've just gone, come and help me create this. Otherwise, it just never would have happened. They would never have utilized, but they're fantastic. And this is what I'm talking about. We have so many skills, but we're still doing the most there's nothing wrong with doing a job. But when you're only flipping burgers, when you have the ability to become a chef, or when you're only I don't know, cleaning floors, when you have the ability to become an author. It's insane. And that's why when I met these guys at the Black Business Expo, which you should all go to, regardless of your race, you should all go to it, but also go to any business expo or any expo whatsoever, because it isn't only entrepreneurs there. You know, we've met lawyers, I've met accountants, I've met people in art, I've met people in music. Everybody of all walks of life is there. Barbers, everyone's there.
Yeah.
Go to these things, find these people. I just met these guys 2 days ago. It's fantastic.
It is.
Thank you, guys. Honestly.
Thank you.
So
Wow.
now you know the who, what, when, where, and why.
Yeah.
You know.
What, where, when, why.
Who, what, when, where, why. Your accent is insane. The accent is insane. We've been laughing about each other's accents for
I
like
know.
a few hours.
For
It's mad.
for like a whole time we knew each other, we've been laughing about each other's accents. It's so satisfying though, but it's a whole nother.
It's fun. It's great. It's absolutely great.
Mm-hmm.
But what we're gonna go into is actually a few questions. How much time do we have for questions? How many questions you want to do?
We can do 2 more questions.
We'll do 2 more questions.
Okay.
All right, we'll go to 2 more questions. The first question that I'm going to pose to the joyinaire, right? I'm actually going to target it around your business model. Actually,
Okay.
what is the next 3 steps from when this business expo finishes? What is the next 3 things you are going to do when you go back to the States?
Ooh.
That's really good.
Because I want the viewers, I want you to take into consideration the mentality of people like this and the mentality that you should adopt when you're thinking about going after something.
That's really good.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
we're here to help everyone.
No,
of
great
course.
question. Wow. So I think the first thing, I got advice from an 8-figure entrepreneur in the hair care business about expanding my reach, because as much as I love to speak to schools and small organizations, I really want to shift my audience to be more focused on young adults, people who are focused on learning more about themselves, professional development. And one thing that she asked me was if I posted on LinkedIn. And that was something that I never really thought about, like posting my video content, my motivational content, and inspirational content on LinkedIn, such a platform where I feel like it's so professional and just you have to look a certain way, you have to sound a certain way, I never really thought that, okay, you know what, I can just be in my shirt and in my pants and still speak life to people on that app. And then opportunities for engagement, speaking engagements, workshops that I could be running could come off of that platform. So the number one thing I'm doing is starting to post on LinkedIn and being hyper intentional with the questions that I ask, the hooks that I use, even on those type of on that professional platform, because I want to shift my audience. I want people to now say, okay, you know what? He's not just a speaker who speaks to just 12, 13, maybe 18-year-olds, but he can come and speak to our company, where we have first and second year representatives or people who are new to the company, who are young, who are vibrant, and we want someone to motivate them. We want someone to inspire them, to actually help them walk into their authentic selves a lot more. Like, can we have someone come in to do that, run a workshop? Can we have someone to help our employees find more joy, right? So these are the types of things that I'm going to be pitching to these companies as I'm subconsciously, just motivating them and inspiring them. When an inquiry comes in or something and they ask me, hey, what services do you offer? I can mention those things. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I'm going to be finishing my funnel for this book. So if you don't know what a funnel is, it's a series of sales pages that allows you not only just to upsell your products, but for the clientele that you're serving to have more access to you, whether, it's through my book or through an audio book or them buying my course or them buying my workbook. It allows just a ladder of pages on a website that you'll be able to have access to me for a price. So that is one thing that I'm continuously building on. And I got more information on how I can deepen the value that I give into my course that I'm releasing at the end of this year and how it could be of value to everyone. And it's going to be, somewhat based off of the principles of my book, but it's also going to have a new revelation and a deeper indwelling of how you can become your best self. So I'm super excited about that. And I was told, look, give it all out. And I'm going to give it all out. I'm going all out with the information, the wisdom, the advice. I'm not holding anything back in this course. So that's going to probably be my second thing. So we got the LinkedIn, we got the funnel building, and then my third thing. Whew.
What's going on?
is to continue changing my mindset, right? Growth is an everlasting process. And even where I am now, I'm not where my mind and where I even speak like now, where I was 2 years ago. So my goal overall is to continue working on my mindset, sharpening it, but not just for professional development and for things of myself, but to best serve the clientele that I'm going to be serving. So whether that is through reading more books, right? I have a lot of books that I just, I'm so busy. I'm doing different things that I haven't been spending time in. There's a good book right now that I'm reading called Atomic Habits. Yeah, and I'm really digging into that to change my habitual habits to be even more efficient and even more effective, where now everything that I do has a purpose. It's inspired based off of who I'm trying to become. And now that is an everlasting change. And I'm like, you know what? I want this to be who I am, continue. And I'm telling you, it's something that we have to say, that learning is not a one-stop shop, right? We don't just go to school and stop learning there. I'm in university now. I'm learning classes and stuff there, but I'm spending just as much time on personal development, mindset shifting, and, getting my business in order, right? It's really, it can be hard, to compartmentalize. It can be hard to set aside that time, but that's why time management is so important, and something that, I can do trips like this and still be in school and have everything lined up and be okay. And that's because that's a skill that I've been working on more and more, is time management, obviously money management skills with that. And that's something that's going to be a lifelong process. The more money I make, it's going to be a little harder to manage, but it's not impossible, right? So how can I continually, as I gain more and increase in everything, how can I better be a better steward of that? So that's my third goal. Yeah.
No.
Thank you. Shyla Chef, what are your 3?
Shout Chef.
Oh,
But just before you do the 3, I just want to give the viewers just a really quick summary, like as if they were going to do it themselves.
Got you.
So, first things first, absorb all the advice given to you from people that have done what you want to do.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to ask any questions. That's what this gentleman has done. Every time we finish a speaker, he never thinks, okay, yeah, they're a bit busy. They're going to have people swearing at him. I'm not going to go. This guy, he gets up. He goes. I'm like, oh, get up. We have to, we have to go up there and talk to them. And that's how I spoke to some people that give me fantastic advice. Then the next thing, implement what they say as soon as possible. Sales funnel. He asked someone that did 8K about what to do for the sales funnel, how to structure it. And now he's going to go and do it. He's going to go do it as soon as he's going to have something there. Doesn't have to be perfect. I know you're going to have just something there. Then third thing, and I think the third thing is just how we even got here. And the third thing is like a -3 because it's something we've all done to even get here, and it's invest in yourself. Yeah. He's going to invest in himself. He's going to read Atomic Habits, and he is going to further his own mind that bit further just for the next trials that come forward, okay? And I've just broken it down for you guys to be like, this is how we're gonna do it. You see? Because it's gotta be, if anything sticks with you, what he said, that's what sticks. Okay? We're here to help. Shala Chef. The next 3 things you're gonna do right after you fly back on that Sunday. Please. Take it away.
Goodness. The first 3 things that come to mind that I will be doing when I come back to my hometown. First things first is going deep into my story. When I say this, I have made a large pivot in my content because my content was all beverage. And there is a point in business, unfortunately, where I couldn't be in production. And, that's still happening until December, meaning there are no drinks being produced in terms of moving to a larger production facility right now.
Okay.
Right? But a good majority of my audience came from
The drinks.
my drinks. And when I started pivoting to what I used to do and still do, my baby, to the culinary side of content and the culinary side of things, there are just still those floods of comments that were like, hey, this is cool, but where are your drinks? Where are your drinks? And it came to a point where I felt like I just had nothing to do with my brand anymore. Like I came to a point where I was like, without my drinks, I am nothing. When in fact, that was nowhere near true when I started. So an 8-figure owner that does hair care. I talked to her yesterday because she was on the panel of the Black Business Week. And she said, question, how often do you talk about your story on your social media? I was like, never. Like, never. And she was like, you need to start doing that. First things first, when I come back to my hometown, I'm diving deep into my story and I'm making it well known. The second thing I am doing is going straight into speaking. I have done tons of speaking engagements, like I said earlier when I was talking about my story and my upbringing. And I did not come back to it. One, because I was just still stuck in that mindset that's like, without my drinks, I am nothing. So what's the point of going on somebody's stage and talking about my dreams instead of what actually is here? And I've gotten to a point in business where I was just so tired of talking about what I want to do and what I do see for myself and not presenting what is done because I was lacking completion. And the second thing I'll be doing is going on stages and speaking about my business. The third thing I am actually doing right now is I am releasing another product. I'm really keeping this one on the low. It's so on the low. My family doesn't even know about it. But I will say be on the lookout for this new product that is coming. I will be starting a launch early next year too. So those are just my top 3 things that I'll be doing. And of course, mindset. That's really just something that every entrepreneur needs. I am reading a book about laws of growth. And because, first of all, you need to be reading. I don't know what we're doing.
Talk about it.
You need to be reading. We need to be reading. And you can't run away from it. There is no denial. There is no other way saying, oh, I can just watch. I could just watch something. I could just watch someone speak about a book. That's like asking someone else to worship God for you. Oh. And it doesn't work like that. Ooh. So I have my books and I am reading from my mindset. And this is not a start the book and then leave it to the side. When you invest in this book, when I peeked through that book, I didn't stop peeking. And not only that, but being able to apply what you read too. So that's just always there. But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on. You said it's like asking God. All right.
As you can see, viewers, the faith is really high here.
Ooh, the faith is high.
Faith is extremely high.
The faith in the works is through the roof.
It's through the roof. But it's just a summary again of what she said. For summary of what she said. So first things first, just the brief of it was the
top 3 things.
But speaking was second. The first one was
diving deep into my story.
There
Second, speaking. And
the
third was the product.
New product. Mm-hmm. So with the diving into the story, once again, we see she's taken the advice from an 8-figure entrepreneur.
And take these advice from people that have been through these things.
Exactly. Yeah, because they've done it. They've done it.
And you know what? I'm so sorry. I want to speak on something real quick because I've noticed, especially in our community, people are so quick to believe, believe some of the things that these family members are talking to them about or speaking down on their business. We're quick to believe doubts more than anything. But we're believing, we're believing all those doubts over 8 and 9-figure business owners that are telling you what they've been through and what you should do. Like it's just such a big issue.
Obviously, with balance though, because your family are looking out for you. You know, 9 times out of 10. Not saying that there aren't those members that are. There's your day ones. That's your blood.
Family will very much look out for you. That's not saying anything about family. I think when I say family, I mean some of the people that you surround yourself most with. Some of the 5 people closest to you, right? As they start seeing your success, there are a lot of people that want to put 2 and 3 cents in, especially as young entrepreneurs. And I was even in that space where I was tending to listen to people that were saying, you need to stop. your stuff looks weird. Like, why do you do this? And, oh, she's going to do another event again. There she goes selling her drinks. I was listening to them and investing in them. They haven't even got to the point where they could spell 8 figures. And it's not saying anything about them, but it was just talking about what I listened to and invested into the most and where it has gotten me. So, yeah. Yep.
Exactly. That was a very good point that you brought out. Very, very good point. We all want freedom from our 9 to 5. We all want freedom from our daily constraints that we feel every single day. We're like, why can't we be like this? But this person has that. It's about not only wanting it, but actually letting it go and being dead set on objectively what is the next step for me. This person's giving me this advice. How do I get to this advice? If there's a little wall in the way, you find a way around it. You claw for it and make sure that it's you make sure that it's done anyway, anyhow. I know from someone that has stopped and cut down a lot of addictive habits that you cutting down on eating, there must have been an infinitesimal amount of walls in front of you, and you had to find a way around it that you probably couldn't even tell, like, you probably couldn't necessarily recall it because it was a process of, like, you mentally going, no, I'm doing this for this reason. I'm going to do it for that one. I'm going to hold up for that long, and I'm not going to do this, and I'm going to do this instead. You know what I mean? Like, you have to fight the walls. And with your point on the new launch, right, with the point of the new launch, even though it's on the absolute down low, what she is telling you guys is you absolutely go for that next step. You go for it. You go balls to the wall. That's what we say here. But
how you say it?
Balls to the wall.
Balls to the
wall.
What is he saying?
Balls to the wall.
Balls to the wall.
Yeah.
Balls to the wall.
Balls to the wall. But you go for that. You absolutely go for that, and you do not stop. And that's absolutely, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
So dope.
Thank you. That's absolutely amazing.
Wow.
So, I'll end off with the 3 things. So the 3 things that I'm going to do after I finish this business expo is we were in the talk with Trevor Nelson, right? And he talked about putting a ceiling. And I found that a problem that I had is that I never necessarily relished my victories. I would succeed, I would do something, but I would never like sit down and get like a little pizza and be like, wow, I did that.
Oh, giving yourself grace.
Yeah, I would never be like, well done. I would just be on to the next thing straight away. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to make sure I have all the contacts that I've made all nice and neatly done. And maybe just for one day, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to smile.
Good.
And I'm going to be like, wow.
Yeah.
Because this is my first business expo ever. I've never networked in my life with, I didn't know that these people like this existed. And that's nothing against East, because there's loads of entrepreneurs in East London. There's loads of entrepreneurs in London. There's loads of entrepreneurs everywhere. But when you try and find those people that have the mindset and that are also young like you and that are going through the motions like you, very similar ones, it's like, it's a big breath of, it's not a breath of fresh air, it's hope. You get the whole expo, and you guys have instilled hope in me that I can definitely just flourish in an environment where people are just proactive and think how I think, you know. They're not concerned about the menial things are still there because we're all humans, but you guys, the brain, you see like a better future. Like I see a better future, and it's possible. I know it's possible. I just didn't know the people that knew it was possible, but they're also possible. So it's possible. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's possible. So I want to relish that for about a day or so. And I'm gonna take that in. In. The second thing I'm gonna do is exactly like the 8-figure said, is that I am going to be posting on LinkedIn, because I never knew that you can just post on LinkedIn. Like,
I didn't know.
It's a professional. Even all the viewers that are on here are definitely thinking LinkedIn is where you go in your nice business suit, the nicest picture you can ever take with your resume, with what you do, all corporate. And it just isn't. It isn't the case. That's how these people even utilize it. It isn't the case. You can talk about anything on LinkedIn as long as it's. I would say as long as it's constructive. But you can talk about anything LinkedIn, and if someone watches your video and thinks, "Huh," and they're in a corporate setting, that is just a different kind of opportunity. It's not like someone just saying, "Oh yeah, your video is great." If someone in, like, let's say a JP Morgan exhibition watches your video and thinks that you're awe-inspiring with how to combat, your inner demons, or if a large restaurant chain looks at your video, looks at your product, looks at your launch, looks at what you're doing, and goes, we're trying to move to the more a more vegan menu, a more accessible menu. We need to take some pointers. We need something, like, come on, like, let's approach her. Let's see what this is, the young girl doing this. She's gonna appeal to every. You see what I mean? So LinkedIn is going to be posted on there. It's going to be well more utilized.
I like it.
Never knew. I absolutely never knew.
Like
And I'm so glad that you asked that
news to all of
question.
us.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And then the third thing that I am gonna do. Right. So, all right. So the third thing that I'm gonna do after doing the LinkedIn is I'm actually going to boost this kind of brand, my brand. When I say this kind, I mean not necessarily the bags and not necessarily the lessons, but what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking to way more entrepreneurs and amazing personalities like this, because I've just, in this interview, I have just realized that this is a calling. This is my calling. And I was planning to do it next year in March, but we're not going to do that next year in March. I'm going to do it so much sooner. And I would love you to be, anytime you're in London, or if I go to America, Rochester, or Atlanta, GA, we keep having these talks. Keep having these progressive talks, because they need to see that. People need to see this.
Yeah.
People need to see this and need to see amazing minds come together. And this expo is full of them. I'm going to try and get as many of them speaking as such as we are here. And honestly, guys, this is the inspiration that the whole area, these people, you can't see where we are right now, but we're in a studio flat. But I'm seeing about 69 flats in front of me, and there are young minds in there and old minds in there. Not just the young. There are young and old minds in there, and people in the middle that need this inspiration, that need to see, right, they're doing X, Y, and Z, and it's just wow. So this is one of many. This is going to be the genesis of making of podcast. Let's go. This is the beginning, guys. This is the absolute beginning. This is a breath of fresh air. It's going to be a breath of fresh air. So there's my launch, guys. You guys know what's happening. There we go. Everyone knows what's happening.
Now we know.
So
Cleared it, man.
we're gonna do one more question, because you said we have time for, we had two, so we're gonna have one more. But I'm gonna do a quick segment question that should only be one sentence long. How much did you accrue in your savings or your bank account before you started doing anything?
That's actually good.
Because this will be, because I'm telling you, the amount you need it's not a lot. You don't. Go on.
Yeah. So for me, are you just talking about for the book itself?
Go for the book. Go for the book itself. Actually, combine the book and any kind of resources, like books that you bought to kind of read, or kind of coaches that made you have self.
Oh wow.
The investment and the actual getting the physical stuff. The first time. What did your bank account? The first time.
Okay. Let me think, because I know that a lot of the stuff I was grateful and blessed where I could go to. I'm on scholarship at my university, and they had allocated funds. One thing that's good about me is that I'll always find the money. So I encourage young people all the time because we don't start off majority of us having millions of dollars or us being trust fund babies, right? That's not my story, but it's a story of some people that I know. But I wasn't fortunate in that case to have it, but I was fortunate enough to have the spirit of endurance and the spirit of the finisher to go after the money. And I ended up asking my school to pay for my first conference that I ever went to. And I ended up see a lot of stuff that we don't. I'm gonna give them a tip right now. A lot of stuff that we see around us with diversity, equity, inclusion, we just think it's just for good, shits and giggles, for lack of better words. But I want us to, I want us to really take advantage of the actual things that these people are making as commitments to bettering diversity, equity, and inclusion in their schools. And for that reason, I went to that office, in my Office of Minority Student Affairs, or anybody's Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, those who are in school. And even if you're not in school, I get a lot of questions about that too, and how you can find money in your community. A lot of it can either be, you can go to a local church, you can ask there, obviously be a part of the member, but tell them your story, tell them the background, tell them why you want to do this and how you end up becoming a better member to society in the process, but also empowering and pouring back into what they've given you. Anyway, for my university, I think my first conference ticket, it was like $900. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I could never pay that. But I had the school to pay that. And I was able to go there, meet, lots of people, entrepreneurs that kind of got me set in my head straight. Like, okay, I'm definitely going to be an entrepreneur. But when I came back, I'm surrounded by the same minds of people who are all ready to be workers. And I just knew that it was going to be harder because I wasn't constantly surrounded in an environment like that, where I could be, where I could constantly be having, empowering conversation, top level, top mindset conversations where we're thinking not just about ourselves, but future generations. It was very hard, when I got back to campus. So I would always be seeking out another conference. And, I do work. Look, man don't work, man shall not eat. So I always work. And I've kept a steady job at my university as an office assistant, making $15.40 an hour, and I just do that, a few days a week when I'm out of classes. And
dollars, guys, because
in dollars.
No university here is going to pay you that. In Oxford.
That's in dollars. Yeah. But I encourage people who are not in school too, who have extra time, work. And if you work even at a restaurant, save your tips. That's where I saved a lot of money before I got into actually college. I had some savings from every summer that I would work at a restaurant. If you can work at some place that's kind of high end. I worked at like a golf course and I was a server there and a busboy. And when I tell you, I saved half of every one of my checks for 3 summers for the entire 3 months. So you can imagine by that time of just tips and the whole summer going by, that was thousands of dollars that had accumulated just because of me working all those hours because I had time. This is prior to even getting into school, and then having a mindset of saving. And then when those times came up, I had something to fall back on. Or like, for example, with the book, when I had to publish my book, I had to pay obviously for my EIN number. I had to pay for, marketing, the cover, editing. There's so many different costs. And that rounded out to be about $3,000 in itself for just publishing a book and doing that. And there was no home support, right? My situation, I didn't dig into very, very personally on a familial level, but I don't have my dad in my life. He passed away when I was 8 years old. And, oh no, you're fine. And my mom is actually mentally right now not doing well. And so she hasn't been an active contributor to my finances in any way, shape, or form for the last 2 years. So it has really been about me working, about God supplying, and then me relying on faith to produce what he put in my heart, and ever since then, things have been lining up here debt free. Okay. Because I utilize resources, opportunities, and the God-given strength to seek out opportunities and follow instructions. And I was able to secure this, meet people and bring people, and allow the good works of what we've done and the faith that we have to really be exemplified wherever we talk and speak to. So
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, if there's a dollar amount, I mean, yeah, you can have a few $1,000s, but honestly, it doesn't even start with that because you can have a few thousand and lose it. What are you doing with the 15, the 10, the $25 you have, right? How do you manage your money now? How much are you saving? Are you still spending your money on sneakers and materialistic items, or are you trying to invest in stocks? Are you trying to get out there and multiply your money? We have to shift our mindset, especially us as Black people and Black men. We love our materialistic items, but when I tell you those things lose value the minute you buy it, you know, you're literally putting yourself at a disadvantage when you don't decide to multiply your money, when you don't decide to say, I'm not going to take this money and buy it in something that I want right now. I'm going to actually invest it. I'm going to actually save it, maybe putting it in a high yield savings account. You know, I do study business, so I do have that kind of mode, but personal finance is important. And especially if you want to be a millionaire, like you're looking at future millionaires right here on this couch, right? We may not have it directly in our accounts right now, but our mindset is already wealthy. And we know that wealth is already spiritual. So wealth can never be tied to a specific number, but it will correlate with our income in due time as we continue to walk in a wealthy mindset, as we continue to be authentically ourselves, and we continue to share our stories and how young we are. People not only buy that, but they buy the vision. And once you get people to buy the vision, that pays the cost for everything. All right. That's it. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Do we have time for a whole nother?
I mean, we're gonna try and match it.
Go ahead.
The
Go
hunger in
ahead.
her eyes.
Do you?
We're gonna right now. Okay. No. We won't break the order, but can you match that answer?
Match.
I thought he was gonna say.
Why would I try to match anything after Caleb Jake says something?
I thought he was gonna say $70. And then that was it. No.
$70.
You
I
took
don't
us-
think-
I'm
you-
sorry, that was supposed to be a one-line
No,
thing.
it's fine.
No.
Look, listen. That was useful. As long as it's useful for the people watching,
Yeah.
then it's enriching.
Yeah.
It's absolutely enriching.
Yeah.
I joke. I kid. It could be as short or as long
joke
as you
too.
like.
No, like,
Y'all tripping. Go on.
y'all tripping. I like his American accent too.
Go on.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't think of a dollar amount when it comes to the savings because there's so many points in my life, especially starting at 8.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going into my savings account looking to see what needs to be put.
Okay, so
but I will.
yeah, from from a point in your life that you had, you had a
That's
bank
better.
account,
Okay, there we go.
and you started to think, okay, I want to get this, and that's gonna be the first few stepping stones. Let me see. When you started going to like places to start catering.
Okay. Oh.
So just before these,
Oh.
just before
Dear.
the drinks,
Yeah. What's that number?
when you were catering, what were we thinking?
So I was what? 13.
13 years old. Did you have a job?
I didn't. I'll tell y'all this. I was 19 when I got my first job.
You were 19 when you got your first job.
My first clock in and clock out job.
Right. So
In terms of working, I just did that just for work ethic. But yeah. So I'll say this. When I started working
Right.
and was in and out of production, I did a whole lot of analyzing. So I would sit down and say, okay, I get paid about $370 a week.
Okay.
A week. And
A lot. Wow.
no, it wasn't a lot.
Jesus.
No, it wasn't a lot. And $370 a week. So I had to decide which is going into my Shala Chef bill and which was going into the next production. And it became extremely hard. I'm not going to lie to you guys and just coming to a very vulnerable moment until I... This is going to sound like a little trust fund baby, but it actually wasn't. It was just smart working and not hard working. I started doing OPM, which is
that for the people
other
who don't
people's
have that?
money.
Other people's money.
Other people's money.
What is that? Or do
Literally using-
you
yeah,
use
it's
what,
literally
like
in the
like
wor-
a trust fund? Not trust fund, like you know the GoFundMe page or something like that.
I didn't even do
Not like that.
GoFundMe's. No, I just
What did you-
straight
oh,
up
GoFundMe.
whether those were investors picking up investors,
Okay.
or people that have been in the beverage business and that would literally invest until we got to that point where we could pay our own productions. But I guess that was me growing, paying for production in the first place. But yeah, so I'll start with that. For a
Go
number,
on the OPM.
it was literally around
370.
370 a week. And I would literally have to decide what's going to myself, what's going to Sheffield, what's going on these others. So
Right.
yeah,
That is.
it's somewhat of a hand clap. It was just some things that I just had to settle for. You know?
If I can just bring, because I can instantly draw a line with how you two like went into it, and you said scholarship, and you said not only just the wage from the day job, but the OPMs, and this is what we're talking about. It's not about how much money you have to start. It's about what are you going to do when you get the smallest amount of money from whatever source that it's coming from. You see, you use the money to start production. Whatever money anyone would give you, you use the money to better yourself, to go to expos, to get that written, to find a publisher. Do you see what I mean? And it's about how you use it with the mind. So don't say that that is half a hand clap. It's not half a hand clap or a quarter or anything called double. It is exactly what the people need to hear. It's about what you're gonna do with such money. And even in my case, when I thought about Genesis, right, and going this, I'll start with like how much it actually cost me to like actually do the company. So about a week, because I was only part-time, I was only working on the weekends, so it was about 400 a week. I was quite fortunate for working 2 days, 400. At Hard Rock as a server, as a waiter,
Okay, got
and
it,
tips
yeah.
and everything, and my smile and
£400?
everything. £400, yeah, not dollars, yeah, not
dollars,
dollars, guys,
dollars?
not dollars. £400. And with that £400, I would divvy every single bit of it into, electric, into travel, because we pay for travel here a lot. Like anyone with Oyster card, whatever, you're paying, it's £10 to my journey was a day. 10. So you see what I mean? So I'm doing it for the Oyster card. I'm doing it for food because I was in uni at the time. So I was doing it for food. And I was thinking about how am I going to get this business set up? And there's even costs of like getting a virtual address and having accountancy software and doing the corporate just sign up. You have to pay them £50 to even put the letter in to get a private limited company in this country. So I was I was working 400, and what you both said about what you do with the money is that if you are managing your money in a way that you don't break it, do your very, very best not to break how you are going to manage that money. Be realistic with your budgets. Put something on the side for yourself, for what you know what you need, and you will not go into the bit where you don't need it. Like this should be for going for someone else, something else, but I need it for this. No. That it doesn't even exist. It doesn't even exist. What I even do is when I get my money, I pay my bills straight away. Like I pay them before they're due. The electric bill, the phone bill, any kind of bill, I put the money on the account straight away, and I have a tick thing, and I try and get them crossed out as much as possible, as quick as possible, so I can see the real amount that I'm working with, and then I write that down, making sure that on the next payday, I'm expecting this. And what I would do, and what I'd recommend, is that we pay for things monthly. Now, for anyone that has the privilege and the luck to be paid to be paid weekly. So we pay for things monthly, at least here. We pay for things monthly, subscriptions, whatever. And some people get paid weekly, bi-weekly, every 2 weeks, and monthly. So what I would recommend, especially to the viewers, is making sure that every single one of those paydays, you actually act like that bill is coming. Even though you don't pay it, you act like that bill is coming. You put that money away in some other account and you don't touch it, because you have to trick yourself to be like, no, that was for electric and whatever, that stays over there. And the savings that you will make is absolutely insane. It's absolutely mad. So that's my answer to such a question. That's what you've got to do.
You should close with the where can they find us?
Where can they find it? Well, join there, please.
Yes.
Please.
So you can find this Joyanaire and learn how to become one yourself on Instagram on therealcaleb.j. On LinkedIn, it's Caleb Jakes, and on www.calebjakes.com. www.calebjakes.com. Yeah. There we go.
Oh, I thought it was yoga.
No. We're not breaking the order. The order stays the same.
All right. Well, you can find me at shylachef.com or shopshy.store. That's going to take you directly to my shop, where in December you can get some of these and a whole lot more products coming soon. And you can find me on all of my social media at shylachef, SHILACHEF, and on my LinkedIn, SHILACHEF.
Which is going to be blowing up because we're going to be posting every single day on it.
Yeah, we will.
Both of you. Yes, you're posting on LinkedIn. We're all posting on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Guys, all my contact information, you can find me on Instagram. That's Genesis-S-LTD. You can find me on LinkedIn. That's P.AJ semester. You can find me on Facebook as well. That's P again, space AJ semester. And listen, I'm there and I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm going to be everywhere, honestly.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much, guys.
so much.
Many more to come.
Yes.
For all of us, we're saying goodbye. God bless. Take care. And do the best you can. Do the best you can.
Yeah.
Crush anything that stops you. Do it.
All right. Peace.
Let's get it, y'all.
Let's go. There we go.